And now on the Two Murrays, Strata Matters with Stephen Brell for the Strata Community Association, New South Wales, the peak body representing the strata industry.
Stephen Brell joining us back in the studio. If you want to have a chat to him, Stephen, of course, is the president of the Strata Community Association and here to help you out on 131873. How you doing?
Oh, really well, gents. How are you?
Nice to see you, buddy. Busy week?
Very busy week, yeah. Busy but productive, which is always a good place to be. Keeps me out of trouble. So,
yeah.
Really good.
What do they call this? Our penultimate segment, yes?
Listen to you.
Our penultimate segment.
It is.
All right, so we've got one more to go.
Yep.
One more
Now
to
we
go.
have questions galore. We'll go to Marianne in a minute. Just a quick question here. The first one that came through from Kath. If a duplex is sold under strata title, because I've got to talk into the mic.
Yeah, that helps.
If a duplex is sold under strata title with no... What's going on there? Now I can't see the bloody...
What's going on where?
There we go. If
Okay.
a duplex is sold under strata title with no current strata fee contributions by agreement with current owners, may strata fees be invoked at a later time if one side of the duplex so desires?
Yes, they can. So what Cass talking about, there's a very common occurrence in duplexes or two-lot strata schemes where, there aren't many expenses of the owner's corporation. Usually they would be things like insurance, perhaps a couple of maintenance items, gardening, lawn mowing, maybe a common electricity bill. And so rather than establishing strata records, which I should say best practice is they should, often the neighbours will just agree between themselves to pay the bills, open up a single account and away they go and just, keep expenses to a minimum. However, to answer Kath's question, yes, if an owner requires that a formal meeting be required, then yes, the other owner has to comply and they have to establish everything and get the records and finances up and running.
Okay, beautiful. All right. And you had an email earlier, didn't you, about somebody that lives in a unit block and does a bit of maintenance around there as well?
That's right. What happens in terms of insurance? They do a bit of gardening, a bit of painting and so on. There's no fee involved. They just do it because they just like doing that around their block. Are they insured under the body corporate situation?
They are. So, again, this is another very common occurrence out there in strata land where owners will undertake what we call voluntary work on the property. So it might be putting the bins in and out, might be mowing the gardens, giving the hedges a bit of a trim. Every strata scheme in New South Wales, and I'm almost certain this applies in Victoria and Queensland, must take out an insurance called Voluntary Workers Insurance. And it protects these types of owners and residents who are undertaking voluntary work on the common property. So if they are injured in the course of doing that work, they can claim for whatever financial loss that they may suffer or whatever injury might occur.
Would it be an idea in that situation for people who are involved in that type of work to maybe get in touch with their strata manager?
Absolutely.
Just make sure?
Absolutely. So if you are undertaking this type of work regularly, I would recommend that you just notify your insurer, let them know, my name's Murray, I live in lot number 3 and I regularly do the gardens, and then it's on record then for the insurer to know that you're actually undertaking this work.
Good on you. There you go. Hope that helps you, Brian.
Yep.
Where are we going, Muzzy?
Let's have a chat to Marianne in Barrel. Well, hello, Marianne.
Hello, thank you for taking my call. Just a quick question. With the last lot of rain that we've had, water seeped into, we had a leak in the bathroom, in the shower area. As a result, the ceiling is starting to peel and there is watermarks. Now, we did get in touch with Strata and the Strata manager tells us, yes, the leak has been fixed. However, the inside of our property is entirely at our cost. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a common occurrence, this one, Marianne. So it will largely depend on what is in your strata insurance policy. Now, the traditional type of strata insurance policy, the paintwork inside your ceiling would not be covered by this event, even though the leak was caused by a defect in the common property, so the roof was leaking and it caused damage to your lot. Okay. However, there are some policies that do cover paint, but the large majority, however, do not. So what you're describing, if there is damage to the gyprock, yes, that will be covered. However, if there is damage simply to the paintwork, generally speaking, that is not covered. So again, you need to check what is in the actual policy document of your insurer. And if you've gone to your strata manager, by the sounds of it, they already would have checked that for you.
You don't sound that happy if that's the case, Marianne. It's got nothing to do with you. It's not your fault this has happened, but you're up for the cost of repairs.
True. But I just want to clarify, the gyprock at least would be fixed up. Would
the
that be
gyprock,
correct?
yeah. So the physical structure, so the gyprock, yes, that should be repaired. However, it's a common occurrence that paintwork inside your apartment is generally not covered by your strata insurance policy.
Does that help?
That's fine. I've got a thing called a husband.
Oh, I love it. Marianne, oh boy, you sound lovely. Good on you. Thanks very much. Hubby, got some work for you.
All the best, Marianne. 131873. That is the number if you want to have a chat to Stephen. We've got some lines available, all right? 131873. Interesting, some stats that you gave to us before you came on air. Recent data is showing that only 13% of strata owners have content insurance.
Yeah, this was a quite
13%.
Yeah, a quite alarming one. So, and just to clarify for everyone out there listening, so a common law across the country is that every strata scheme or strata plan must carry building insurance. Right. Now, this covers the building structure. So if there is an insurable event like a fire or a flood, then the building structure is covered.
Right.
What's commonly misunderstood by a lot of strata owners, and I think this is what the survey data reflects, is that many strata residents, and I'm including tenants here and strata owners, do not take out contents insurance for their own property.
Why is that?
Because I think they're under the misapprehension that the building insurance, the strata building insurance, will cover their content. And this is actually a very nice segue. So in the situation that Marianne just had she had contents insurance, she'd be able to claim the paintwork on her contents and the structural damage on her strata insurance.
Okay,
that's how it works.
All right, so $1 million question is, how many people have got in a strata environment and have also got building insurance on top of...
Contents.
No, on top of the insurance that's taken out by Strata.
Oh, you mean over and above?
They've got a double.
Yeah, that's right.
And they don't realise. They're paying for it for nothing.
Yeah, that's right. And we often see this occur in smaller strata schemes and in duplexes. Yep. So people will take out building cover because they think they're taking out building insurance for their
But they
their
don't
own
need
property.
to.
But they don't need to. Yep, exactly right.
And the insurance companies aren't going to say no.
No, that's right.
So do you get two payouts?
No, you don't get two payouts.
That's disappointing.
He's got to pay twice as much.
That's disappointing.
He's got to pay two premiums. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So again, my advice out there for everyone in Strata Land, check what's in your Strata title insurance policy, okay, and make sure that your contents are protected.
Okay, here's a question.
Yep.
A lot of people would think, where can I find that sort of documentation? Do you contact your strata manager?
You can contact your strata
and maybe you have a
manager.
copy of your strata agreement in your bottom drawer to whip out when you need to.
Exactly right. So again, what will happen is the insurer will give you a policy document and a financial services guide. Most strata insurance policies are written in plain English, so lay people can understand them. But again, contact your manager. They'll be able to provide you with a copy of that. But generally speaking, if you are protecting everything inside your property, so everything that's part of the building structure is covered by the strata building insurance. So things like your internal walls, internal doors, kitchen cabinets, bathroom cabinets, showers, toilets, all that sort of thing, that's protected by insurance. However, it is yours for maintenance. If you have a fire in your kitchen and the kitchen burns down, that's covered by insurance. However, if you get a leaky tap in your sink, that's your responsibility to repair and maintain.
Okay.
We've got lots and lots of queries for you and the text line. We'll get to those in a minute. Let's go first, though, to Jim in Sydney, Earlwood in Sydney. G'day, Jim.
G'day, mate. How are you?
Well, sir, thank you. You've got a very interesting take on this. You're a plumber.
I am. I'm a plumber, and I commonly come across what you call a party sewer line, which when something breaks down, it blocks up. No one knows who's responsible for it. And I just want to know, because I always advise my clients who are in this situation and are involved in a party line to try and form a strata so that it can be legally dealt with. Because at the moment, you're only relying on goodwill.
Yeah.
So people don't have to pay for stuff. So my question is that a good way to go about it?
Yeah, it is. So what often occurs here, Jim, and particularly where you've got a courtyard in a villa or a townhouse or perhaps an apartment, it will often come down to how the strata plan is drawn. So what happens when you have a courtyard, the owner of that lot will actually own a certain amount of the courtyard into the ground, normally 1 or 2 metres, and that will be defined by the strata plan. Right. Now, depending on where the pipework goes, it will depend on who's actually responsible for that particular repair. So this is where we get into really sticky areas into strata legislation and interpreting strata plans. Another reason why it's really important for strata owners to understand what is part of their responsibility for maintenance and reading their strata plan and understanding it, and what is the common property or the owner's corporation's responsibility to repair and maintain.
Does that make sense? I guess, Jim, in the same way as you go along to call outs to strata environments, so to electricians. It might be, like a common meter box for the whole building.
Yep.
So, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I know a few tradies, and they do go crook when they get called out to strata environments, and they struggle to get the bill paid because, who's going to pay the bill? Which is why, because I'm in a strata environment, our strata guy issues a job number, and the job number goes to you, Jim, or to Bill, the electrician. And that's I suppose, a guarantee for you, Jim, that you're going to get paid after you do the job.
That's correct, but I'm more particularly asking about older terrace properties that do not have any strata laws in place, not part of a strata. So you rock up to a terrace, they have a sewer blockage, but they're on a party line of 8 or 10 terraces, and no one knows what to do and who is responsible for it.
So that's outside a strata environment. I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. So it's outside. So that's a little bit outside my wheelhouse, Jim. However, I presume you'd be going to Sydney Water on that one and trying to find out who's actually responsible for it.
They don't even want to know about it because it's considered a private line. So what I've been advising my customers or whoever's involved in that party line to come together and form a strata.
To form a strata corporation.
Correct.
Right.
And that way it'll be legally bound for everyone to be involved and pay for it.
So there might be 8 or 10 properties, not in a strata environment right now, but share one common sewer line.
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they might be able to do that through a deed of agreement rather than actually going to the extent of having a strata plan. However, Jim raises a really good point, and if I can get a plug-in for the association, we do have training for tradespeople on strata, so understanding, so they can understand what is lot property and what is common property. Because often when we're called as strata managers to diagnose a problem, it's very difficult to understand, is this on lot property or is it on common property? And it's not until we send out a trade to actually look at the job that we know what it is. And if the tradie can identify it, it is a huge help for us.
All right. Now listen, Terry sent you a text. If I can't safely reach exterior windows, which form part of my kitchen, is that a body corporate responsibility? The windows are 3 stories high.
In terms, what, for cleaning or for replacing glass? Or
doesn't say.
Right.
Yeah, so generally speaking, there is a bylaw in place for most strata schemes that says the cleaning of windows is the lot owner's responsibility unless they are too dangerous to clean. So if Terry's hanging out the side of a 3rd-storey window trying to clean a window, I would say that's too dangerous.
But
if you do it at your place, come round and do mine, will you?
Correct.
Yeah, exactly right. But anything on the common property or anything on the boundary of your lot is generally considered common property. So therefore, it's the owner's corporation's responsibility to repair and maintain.
Right on.
Yep.
Interesting query from Joseph in Brisbane. Thanks for your text, Joe. What are the current rules about people smoking on the balconies? I live in an apartment complex. A tenant 1 floor down smokes most of the time. I can't open my windows because of this. Another quick one, if I may. I've noticed my complex has turned off the aircon on the common areas. Is this allowed?
2 great questions there from Joseph. Now, Joseph, I can speak on this, even though this is Queensland laws, I can talk on this with a little bit of authority. There are new strata laws coming into Queensland. They've been passed by the government, but they haven't yet been enacted. I know that one of the things that they are looking at is possibility for owners' corporations to ban smoking within apartments. So we have similar laws down here in New South Wales.
Full-time ban.
Full-time ban. So owners' corporations can pass bylaws to say that, banning is prohibited within the lot. Yep. Okay. And again, yes, smoke is prohibited, or smoke drift, I should say, is prohibited. And again, similar laws are being proposed for up in Queensland. So, Joe, I'd wait with bated breath for those laws to be passed, then raise it with your strata committee. In relation to the other one about turning the air conditioning off, I know that down in New South Wales, that can only be done with a resolution of the owners themselves. So the committee can't just go ahead and do that. So that's got to be passed by a 75% majority with that. But I'd check both of those things out with your strata manager.
There we go. Hope that helps, Joe. What about Stephen from Brisbane? How about you guys trying to make bloody strata sound cool by referring to it as a strata environment?
Strata environment. 131873. Jenny's on the line from Caloundra in Queensland. G'day, Jenny.
Oh, afternoon, gentlemen. Nice to be on the show. First time.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
I've been in the committee at where I live, and we have 70. It's a complex owned by a conglomerate, and we have 79 people. They're looking at building another 6-story apartment building on that. They're going to sell off. It's going to have separate body corporate. but they're looking at taking away the tennis court for the easement for the sewerage. But I guess my most poignant question is, number one, I don't understand all that, but the most important thing I guess we've tried to do over the last few years is look at the we've gone up $200 in the last 12 months on our water. So when I was on the committee, we looking at putting individual meters in, and then they were going. So the voice was, how do we decide who's going to divvy up the funds between all that? So I'm just wondering, we've already looked into the purchase of water meters individually, but no one wants to take on the aspect of being able to divide up the funds. Most of us that own are single people that live in those dwellings. My last water bill was paying for 12 people. We pay for the pool, we pay for the kitchen, we pay for everything, all the water on site, and it's at my biggest bill. And I'm on minimum wage, and I'm trying to pay body corporate and all those. So I'm just wondering what from here.
Yeah, so it's very common in a strata environment, if I can lend that term, for only one water meter to be installed at the property. So all of the consumption is shared between or paid for through your strata levies. Okay, what you're attempting to do here, Jenny, again, also is not uncommon by retrofitting individual meters to each apartment, so which can be read individually, then bills divvied up. What we tend to find, trying to do that, it does become cost prohibitive because the cost of actually installing the individual meters, so the cost of the meters themselves, getting a plumber in to actually fit them all, can be very, very expensive. So, again, a lot of owners' corporations look into doing this, however, find that because of the cost, it tends to put them off. It can be done, however, it is very, very expensive.
What do a situation where you've got 6, 8 apartments is not in our case, but I have had this complaint around the golf club, actually. There's a couple I know who are away 6 months of the year, and they are on that water meter sharing business. And he's bellyaching to me, afternoon to you, Brian. He says, "Oi, I'm away for half the year. How come I'm paying for water that other people are using?" How can he fix that?
Yeah, or unless he installs his own sub-meter, and again, it would all have to be read all at the same time. This is where it becomes very complex. Yeah. So unless the scheme actually resolved to do it themselves, so they said, right, let's install individual sub-meters on every lot that could read every person's water usage. Again, it's very, very difficult because the only way that you can divvy it up is via your strata levies.
Okay.
131873 is our telephone number. Stephen Brell, our special guest this afternoon of the two Muzzies. Thanks for your company.
This is Strata Matters for the Strata Community Association New South Wales, the peak body representing the strata industry.
Yeah, Stephen Brell's with us. 131873 is the number if you want to have a chat to him this afternoon.
Not surprisingly, you're very, very popular, Stephen. Let's go to Ballina. Beautiful, beautiful Ballina. Scott's online. Hi, Scotty.
G'day, Murray. How are you?
Sir, pretty good, thank you. How can we help?
Just want to know, my daughter lives in a complex where there's only 4 units, and the gentleman in number 1 has installed a security camera which faces the common property out front. Yep. Is he allowed to do that?
Okay, technically he should be whenever you ever install anything on common property, you should be gaining permission from the owner's corporation. Okay, even if it may be located within your lot space, so it might be within your balcony, but anything that's facing the common property where people can see it, you should be getting permission from the owner's corporation before you do anything like that. So that's So I don't know whether he actually did obtain approval from his committee to do it.
No, he didn't know.
Yeah, so you can ask him to take it out. But again, I always find that when these sort of situations occur, compromise is often the best. And talking to him and understanding why he wants the camera up there. I mean, we probably know why. However, again, just understanding that yes, he should have got permission to do that.
Okay, good on you, Scott. Thanks so much for the call.
That helps. Yes. Yeah. Another common issue, I'm pretty sure. Janet joining us from DY in Sydney. Hello, Janet.
Hello.
How can we help?
I'm wondering if you can have a barbecue on your balcony and cook your barbecue. This is New South Wales law.
Mm-hmm. Sure, yep. There's nothing prohibiting owners or residents putting barbecues on their balcony. It's a great Aussie pastime that we all enjoy.
Just invite the neighbours over.
Yeah, that's right. So I've got a barbecue on my balcony, so I'd be a bit of a hypocrite if I said I can't do it. But there's nothing prohibiting residents from putting barbecues on their balcony. On some occasions, and I have seen this occur, buildings that have combustible cladding on their balcony. So you might remember the Grenfell Tower that had the terrible combustible cladding on there. Sometimes there are fire orders that are put in place to say, hey, look, please do not have cooking utilities on your balcony because it may spark them until the actual balcony is repaired. But regrettably, Janet, no, there is nothing prohibiting anyone from putting a barbecue on their balcony.
Okay, all right, Janet, 131873.
The smell of someone else's barbecue.
It'd drive you stark gravy mad if somebody had a barbie downstairs and they were burning things or they had a smoker or something like that. Whereas, you can't smoke, but you can generate smoke from a smoker or a barbecue.
Yeah, it's one of those ones with tobacco smoke and now more recently vapes. They're considered a health hazard, particularly for people who have they might have.
Have you seen some people cook barbecues?
Oh yeah,
Are you trying to tell me that's not a health hazard? Look at what they produce off the barbecue. I've been to your place. You cannot barbecue to save your life.
Are you kidding? I am the barbecue master.
Yeah, but your balcony's bigger than your apartment.
I'm a barbecue. I'm barbecue master, mate.
Good on you.
Yeah.
131873 is the number. Let's have a chat to Philip at Vaucluse. Hello, Philip.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. We've got a situation where our insurances have increased by 146% to $25,000 as a direct result of one of the unit owners being paid out an insurance claim about 2 years ago during the floods, and he cannot prove that the work that he was paid out for was undertaken and done. We've asked him for invoices. He can't provide that for them. So what do we actually do?
That's a really interesting one, Philip. So there is provision in the New South Wales legislation for an owners corporation to claim for increases in insurance premiums if the uses of the lot occur that cause an increase in the insurance premium. So this normally happens in a mixed-use development, say where a person moves in and they might be operating a takeaway cafe or a massage parlour or a tattoo parlour and that sort of thing, and that causes the premium to increase. What you've described here, by the sounds of it, the insurance company has already paid out the claim. Now, normally when they pay out the claim, they would have done their own investigation to make sure that it was common property, it was an insurable event, and that everything was legitimate. So, generally speaking, you can't claim for increases to premiums because of claim payouts, even if the damage was occurred to the lot, unfortunately.
So, from what I understand, you're saying is we don't have a leg to stand on.
It's going to be very difficult for you because you'd have to prove that there was some type that there was some reason why the claim shouldn't have been paid. And again, in retrospect, that's going to be very difficult.
146% increase in insurance?
Yeah, it's happening a lot. So again, we've been looking at the last 18 months or so. Insurance premiums have been going up quite exponentially because of the cost of defects, the cost of claims, and again, just generally speaking, building insurance premiums across the board have been going up as the insurance claim pool, is tightening up. So yes, it is occurring.
Philip,
okay,
not good news for you, I'm afraid. Okay, 131873. Let's go to Rouse Hill, and John is with us. John, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. My question is just downsized into a ground floor apartment. I'd like to put some type of pergola or some type of coverage out there. It's probably about 118 square metres, or that's around what it is. What are my obligations here towards Strata?
Yeah, please? So in this circumstance, again, very common, people in courtyard areas do want to put in pergolas or coverings to give themselves a bit of shade in certain times of the year. So essentially, you do require, if you're attaching anything to common property, so if you're attaching, say, a starter or a bracket or whatever to the walls or the common property, yes, you do need permission from your owner's corporation. This would fall under what I would call a bylaw situation where you pass a bylaw giving you permission to do this, and then that would cover off who's responsible for the ongoing maintenance of the pergola and so forth moving forward. So in that situation, John, what I would be doing is writing to your strata committee, letting them know what your plans are, and then requesting that your permission for your pergola be placed on the next general meeting for the owners for approval.
Beautiful. All right. 131873 is our telephone number. Barbara's called through from Mossman. Hello, Barbara.
Hello, Murray.
Barbara.
Murray. Look, regarding the question with Stephen Brell about the voluntary worker, do you need to get the consent of the owners' corp to do this voluntary work? And the other question is, they require owners' consent. They need to, to report that you do voluntary work, which I love doing. Do you need their consent, and do you need to have owners' consent before you divulge it to the insurance company?
Yeah, Barbara, very good question. So the other thing which I should have added to the earlier comment was voluntary workers insurance is compulsory, so every owners corporation must carry it. Now, in regards to getting permission, it would always be wise to do so. If you're doing regular things around the property, and again, it's as simple as just noting something in the minutes of a meeting, just saying, look, Barbara, it will regularly attend to pruning the branches or whatever you're doing, or putting the bins out, or whatever the case may be. Now, again, there are certain circumstances where voluntary work, it's not practical to actually notify your strata committee. So it could be often it occurs where there's a spillage on the common property, and you're just trying to lend a hand to clean it up. Okay, in those circumstances, no, you don't need permission to do it, because the insurers recognise that work comes in various forms. So there's going to be regular ongoing work, and where that occurs, yes, I would recommend that you get permission from the owners, and you also notify the insurers. Okay, it's not required. However, I would recommend you do it, because then you have a paper trail that's in place should something go wrong, where the owners have said, yes, we're allowed to do this, or the residents are allowed to do this. And again, you're notified your insurers, so there can be absolutely no headaches later on.
I hope that helps, Barbara.
Who owns the driveway going into your garage if you're in a complex? And they're
common driveway area, you mean?
No, it's a driveway that goes into your garage, like
your own garage.
In your own garage, in your own house, like in a villa. Then there's a whole heap of them.
Yep.
Who owns that bit of concrete?
In your garage?
No, just on the outside of the garage. So you drive down the common road, and you turn off to go into your place, and there's a bit of concrete between the driveway and when you go into your garage.
You've just used the magic word there, Murray. It's common. So anything that's common property.
No, the common driveway that goes around the whole place.
Yep.
But then when you turn off,
okay,
you go over a bit of concrete and you go into your garage.
The technical answer to this is it will depend on what your strata plan says. Now, most of the time where your garage door starts is where your lot property will start, and anything outside your garage door or your parking space will be common property.
So why can't you park your car there?
Or often,
who says you can't?
Oh, some crusty person that's got their knickers in a knot.
Oh. Okay, why can't you park your car there?
Park there. Well, hang on, there's no traffic going past. It's not on the common road.
You can park there if you get permission from your owners corporation or body corporate. Yeah. And now, often, without being too silly,
good luck.
There are emergency access laws in place as well. So you need to worry about can ambulances and so forth get past if there is an emergency and things like
absolutely.
that. So there are rules in place in that regard.
Okay,
yep.
all right.
Look, here's a very common thing. From Lewis says, all single people in Strata are paying for other people water usage. In some units, there are 6 to 8 people living in them. Single people also sharing the cost of all that water usage.
It is, yeah. And long before the water, when we had water restrictions in New South Wales, they used to make the joke, look, have plenty of showers and flush the toilet twice and all that sort of thing to make up for it. However, it is, regrettably, it's how strata living has been set up in many jurisdictions around Australia, where there is only one water meter that's linked to the property, and so therefore the water consumption costs are paid for by the strata owners.
Okay. Quickly, and then we've got to take a break.
Okay, here's one from Harry. Look, a block of 18 units, family owns. If we sell one unit, does the block become strata?
Yes, it would have to. Yes, so you wouldn't be able to sell off one lot if
Harry's
it wasn't
doing all right.
already
Who's
strata.
got a block of units with 18 units?
Harry.
And Harry owns the whole lot.
We'll be round for dinner, Harry.
Yep.
Good on you, mate. Thanks very much.
131873.
It's Harry Windsor.
Oh, of course. Julie's on the line from Engadine.
Hello, Julie.
Hello.
Hi, gents. Thanks for taking my call.
Pleasure. How can we help?
My parents live in a strata. They're elderly. They're in their mid-80s, and the complex is probably about 30 units. And over the last 2 years, they've had 5 flooding incidents where sewer water has come up through the floor waste in their laundry and bathroom.
Oh, dear.
We haven't really been involved. They've tried to manage it themselves, but they've had no luck with strata. They've basically washed their hands of it. And I just wanted to know what strata's responsibilities were and obligations were, and if they don't do anything, what can I do?
Yeah, it's a really common problem, this one, where, again, you do have a sewer line that might be blocked. Now, what normally happens is a plumber will come around, there might be tree roots or other things that would be in the line that's blocking it. So the first thing they'd need to do is diagnose what the actual issue is. So if you do have tree lines in your roots, it's common for the plumber will come out and they'll use what's called a rotor that will go through and actually clear all the roots out of there. But what happens is the roots then grow back into the sewer line and it becomes blocked again. So what would need to occur there, they need to replace all the sewer pipes, which can be very, very expensive. First things first, they need to diagnose what's causing the sewer chokage. My guess is it's tree roots, because that's a common problem.
5 times, unacceptable.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, get a plumber out there, diagnose what the problem is, and then they can give you options. Either keep doing the temporary repairs like they're doing, but it keeps surcharging, or undertake more extensive repairs and get the pipes replaced.
Okay, let's. I hope that helps, Julie. It's not good for mum and dad. Absolutely not. Not 5 times in a couple of years. No. That's dreadful. Let's go to Ian Narrabeen. Hello, Ian.
Hi, Murray's and Stephen.
Thanks for being with us.
I'm the owner of
Ian, just can you stand still because your line's cracking up?
I'm not.
You know what? We're going to ring you back, mate. We'll ring you back.
We'll put you on hold, all right, and we'll give you a buzz back. 131873 is our telephone number. Tracy sent us an email. Hi guys, I recently got solar panels on my roof and didn't contact Strata Management. Feeling a bit guilty. Should have notified them. I'm in a complex of 7 townhouses, and there is a person renting who has 6 cars and a boat in his garage and takes up so much space. He's been talking to Strata for over 18 months. Do you have any ideas?
About the solar panels or the parking? All of the above.
Well,
I suggest a call on Monday.
Yes. No, with
someone's got 6 cars and a boat in his garage, and it takes up a whole heap of space.
Yeah. Okay. So first one with the solar panels. Again, not uncommon for people to install things without permission. Don't feel too guilty. You can get retrospective approval for these type of things, and it is good to fess up to your owner's corporation to say, "Hey, look, I've done this. Can I get retrospective approval?" Which can occur. As far as the other problem is concerned, by the sounds of it, they've tried everything they can. I would be taking them to the tribunal and asking them to place an order that they no longer park their vehicles and so forth on the common property.
Okay, so you would believe seek forgiveness rather than permission. Would that be your motto?
My advice would be seek permission first.
Yes.
Always in a strata situation, seek permission first.
Let's go to... is Ian... Have we tried
Yeah, we got him back,
Okay, Ian, fire away, please. Let's hope the line's better.
Yeah, hi, Murray's and Stephen. I'm the owner of a strated storage unit, and there's 140 of the units in the complex, and on common property there's 6 bathrooms that have just a toilet in them. We're getting bills from the Sydney Water for each unit, as well as the ones that go to the body corporate for the bathrooms. So we're paying twice. We're paying through the body corporate for the water that's actually used, and then each individual unit gets a bill from the...
Yep, Ian, you just cut out there, but again, I understand your question. What I would suggest you do is check your bills very closely, because Sydney Water will issue 2 bills when it comes to water. One is for sewerage, so that's for your connection to the sewer, and the other one, which they send to the owner's corporation or the body corporate, is for consumption. So just check the description of your water bill, and you'll probably find that it is for the sewer connection, not necessarily consumption.
Okay. Have a look at that then, Ian. Okay, we've got time for a couple more. Let's go to Gwen from Vaucluse. Hello, Gwen.
Hello, thank you for taking my call.
It's a pleasure, my dear. How can we help?
Look, I live in a block of 7 units, and there's one above me. And I've been getting water in the cavity walls for about 10, 15 years.
Oh.
And I've been trying to get things to get done because all my the wallpaper should be gold, and it's green. And the doctor said that's why I'm sick all the time.
You might have mould there, yeah. That's no good, not for that amount of time.
No, it doesn't sound good at all, Gwen. By the sounds of it, again, your owner's corporation or body corporate aren't investigating the proper cause of the repair, and they probably do need to undertake major works. There is a section of the Strata Act, which is Section 106 in New South Wales, that requires the owners corporation to undertake proper repair and maintenance of their building or of your building. My usual advice would be write to your strata manager and say, if you do not undertake proper repairs, or write to your strata committee, I'll be applying for an application under Section 106. I appreciate that can be a scary prospect for you.
Yeah.
I do know a couple of very good and friendly strata lawyers who are happy to help out and people in your circumstance. So if you give our office a call on Monday, 9492 8200, I will put you in contact with them, and they'll probably be able to help you out for a relatively low cost.
Beautiful.
Gwen, I'll repeat
Thanks,
that number, Gwen, if you're having trouble. That's absolutely not fair.
Yep.
15 years.
Yeah.
Mr. Brell, great to see you again as always.
Thank you, Murray.
Thanks, mate. Good to see you, and we'll catch up next week.
No worries.
So
Our last show.
9492 8200.
That's
yeah?
the one. Yep.
All right, beautiful. All the best. Good to see you.
Thank you.